Hey everybody, before we get into predictions, a quick update on the patch that is supposed to be dropping on March 10th. A couple things to go over. First things being that they are finally introducing blueprint trade-ins. Just like common items, you'll be able to trade in 5 items for blueprints of the same rarity to trade up into the next one. They are also adding something that has been much requested, inventory filters that will stay active until you exit the management inventory screen. Basically something we've been asking for a long time, but more importantly, it's going to make it easier to trade in things as well as go through the different stuff that you specifically want to look at. I know it's a long requested thing that is finally here. They're also making default changes. So for new players, they're making it a little bit easier to kind of get into the game. Wider FOVs, reduction in camera shake, as well as just quality of life changes about the controls being a bit more sensitive, as well as making things like nameplates always active. And the what was the last one? The team color boost meter, which is a new feature they added a couple patches ago. For audio files, they are adding a dynamic range control system, basically making it, in layman's terms, depending on what level of volume you play at, whether it's medium, high, or low, you're going to get better sound quality and things are going to be boosted or brought up or brought down based upon what you're doing. Curious to actually test this out with speakers as compared to just headphones, so that should be fun to play around with. This update came to be back in August when they provided HDR sounds. Now they're adding a dynamic range preset, which allows for a bit more customization depending on which volume levels you play at. This patch on next Tuesday will also be the final update for Mac and Linux versions. All refunds must be requested by June 10th if you want to get your money back. And last but not least, they're adding a new series of items and blueprints to the item shop for the patch. Full reveal next week. They express more details for the spring, which I assume will bring in another in-game event where you can collect and buy currency to unlock items. But hopefully they add a little bit more. With that said, let's get into the predictions. So due to the server issues that we had in week 1, we have a double header this week. If you guys don't know what that means or didn't watch the end of last video, they're doing week 6 for both North America and Europe for Monday. So Europe's going to play in the morning, and then we're going to be doing North America after that, like immediately after it finishes, which is kind of what it details here. So we're doing all the predictions for both week 5 and week 6 today. Because this weekend's going to be jam-packed. So starting off, you get E United versus Flight. Should be an easy 3-0, 3-1 possibly. I'm probably going to go 3-1 for E United. They just seem to be an all-around solid team while Flight continues to struggle on defense. Kind of lack the offense. A lot of complications from that side. But E United has always kind of put up a fight so far. Even though I'm not like super impressed, they still show that they're like a top 6 team and find themselves in the playoffs. Ghost Gaming versus Rogue. Not a whole lot to talk about. Rogue's been kind of struggling. Still, I think missing one piece of the puzzle to get themselves a victory. Ghost Gaming continues to impress, but just haven't been able to put it all together for league play. They constantly seem to be missing that like final element, whether it be illusion or miss like double commits, or it just seems like that third player in rotation just has a lot of problems. Despite that though, Ghost looks like the more solid team. It could be very close, but I'm thinking very similar for the previous match. It's going to be a 3-1. Rogue might be able to pull some out. First killer is starting to get more comfortable, but again, they just look sloppy and lack offense. Probably the hardest match to predict for North America for week 5, Sonics versus Pittsburgh Knights. Pittsburgh Knights has some moments of excellence, and then other times they just look really poor. I honestly don't know who could win this one. I think it's going to be a nail-biter either way. We ended up on the CJ show going with Sonics, partially due to trying to curse it. And it sucks because I love the guys on Sonics. I just haven't seen anything that impresses me. Like, despite them being, I think they're 3-1 right now, there hasn't been a single thing that shows to me that they are a team that is capable of doing something like, I don't know, I don't want to discredit because they're still winning really close matches, but I haven't seen anything that's like, yep, their offense is really good, they're putting things together, and that's why they're winning. It's more of like the other team's playing worse, and they just happen to be less worse than the other team, which is really shitty to say, but I just can't feel confident in their team. I really want to see their offense pop this week and hope that against PK has struggled. They kind of clump into one area. They're always on the same side of the field and overlap. A lot of double commits on defense. The benefit, though, is that Reddles is going to be able to go on offense to try to apply some demos and stuff, so I don't know if that's going to open up opportunities, but honestly, this one can go either way. it's kind of a coin toss. It should just be a fun one to watch. So the last 3 matches, we have the 3 teams that are the best in North America between G2, Space Station, and NRG. So pretty easy to say that all 3 of these teams are going to win. I haven't seen any signs of them slowing down. It's just a matter of how we want to provide the teams to give some resistance. For G2, still a little bit sloppy sometimes on defense, a little bit of chaos, but overall I like the way that they're applying their play style in more of a spreading the field, not committing too hard or too heavy on stuff, which is going to make them, I think, do the mistakes, give up at least 1 game, but G2 again looking super solid. Space Station I think looks even better. I think they're going to have a field day with Cloud9. Cloud9, if they get outpaced, looks abysmal, and I don't think they're going to have any chance to get boost, and they just continue to play poorly. So Space Station, I think you're finally going to get your first sweep. And then for Energy against PK, this could be the same situation. They usually start pretty slow, but it is the last match of the day, so maybe Justin will actually be awake. I don't know. Turbo tends to give up like 1 goal as an own goal or something stupid, but I expect Energy to exploit their defense and their issues with the double commits pretty heavily here. Honestly, it should be a 3-0 for Energy, but knowing them, they'll probably give up 1 game, but we'll go 3-0 anyway. For the matches on Monday, for technically week 6, Space Station versus Flight. I think Space Station again doubles down. 3-0, we got the worst team against one of the best teams. Flight just is going to be under a lot of pressure, and with demos and everything else coming through, I think they're going to have a hard time finding their footing, which should be a good step for Space Station to put themselves in a solidified like top 3 spot. Sonics versus United. I think this actually favors United, and I could see a victory there. So I'm going to go for the upset pick. I think a lot of people are going to be believing on Sonics. I think what I choose here is totally precedented on how Sonics plays against PK. If Sonics convincingly beats PK, then I'll go with Sonics, but just with my gut instinct, I think United is definitely like a solid team, and they have moments to see flashes of like Ajax popping off, or Hawks are really stepping up. Sometimes Roldiz is really a proponent of that, but like Roldiz's shooting has been kind of sad this season. But United is kind of like either win a team or lose as a team. Sonics has like moments of stepping up. Shock continues to be impressive, and I think that could be the only difficulty. Is Shock on defense is a fucking unit, but I could see United winning. Sonics should win, and I'm gonna preface that by saying Sonics should win this series, but you know what? It's always good to have an upset here and there. G2 versus Ghost. G2 should win this pretty handily, but Ghost always tends to pull stuff out. It plays up to their competition. I think this will be a nail biter. I think this will probably be the match of the week. 3-2 in favor of G2. Rogue versus PK. I honestly don't care. Honestly, this sounds really bad, but like, does it really matter who wins here? PK should win. This could be a chance for Rogue to kind of start getting those wins towards the end of the season and start to have that resurgence like they always do, where they get 6 seed, make it into playoffs, and then continue forward. But with the announcement that we put out and the fact that there is possibly no regionals or promotion tournament playing, who knows what will happen moving down. But PK should win this. I think it'll be another nail biter, probably 3-2. This one's going to come down to disruption. How impactful is Rettles? How impactful is First Killer? First Killer can control the midfield. They should be okay. And then what is going to be a bloodbath, easy 3-0 for Energy. We had a pretty moment of silence kind of situation with the CJ show where Cloud9 of the old is dead. It's time to move on. It sucks. A lot of history with the team. A lot of favoritism towards them due to their history and the fact that they almost end top 3 in every LAN, and you know, a lot of favorites. But that Cloud9's over. It's time to move on, and it kind of sucks to say. So they're gonna be fighting for themselves to at least get some wins. Any wins are better than nothing, just because they need the game differential tiebreakers. But Energy should wipe the floor with them. Moving over to EU for week 5 and week 6, TSM versus Singularity. Honestly, I think Singularity will win this one. It could be close, but I think it'll be 3-1. TSM just struggles to have offense, which kind of sucks to say, but they lack it. They have a very hard time getting goals. Singularity will at least apply some pressure. I think you're looking at the difference here being how impactful can Metzenaars be. He needs to be that setup man. He really needs to help motivate this team up on offense and try to find ways to clear it out. We've seen that hard carry potential, but that's pretty much what TSM needs. They need something flashy. Alpha at least made them competitive, even though he was doing it alone. And even though it feels like they're more comfortable, they just don't have that key personnel or that X factor to bring them to that next level, kind of like your Astrals. As for Singularity, they got someone like Noli, and he's kind of a monster. So Singularity needs this win desperately to stay out of bottom 2. We've seen what they can do against a sloppy-looking Vitality, and I think they're going to have a lot of space due to TSM's defensive nature. So Singularity, I think you take this one. Veloce, Monaco. Veloce not only is a team that is very frustrating to play against, Monaco basically doesn't have a defense. They look pretty rough, which sucks to say because Jordan or Ignite is one of my good buddies. They just a lot of offense, but the defense just isn't there. It's very sloppy, and Veloce really precedents their play on counterattacks, really defensive. So even if they give Monaco space, if the shots aren't threatening, it's not going to matter. I expect Extra to get picked up by another team and give himself another chance, but for Monaco, it sucks to see, but Veloce's going to win this one. Probably 3-0, honestly. I could see it being a sweep, but we'll give them one for the benefit of the doubt. Actually, no. No, we're gonna be straightforward. I think Monaco's gonna really struggle in this. Veloce secures themselves to top 3. Reciprocity, even though they had a tough last week, should be able to win this pretty easily against Endpoint. I do like some of the things that we're seeing out of Endpoint, and a lot of us believed that they were kind of that last spot, but they have actually been stepping it up. Rec needs a bounce back. They need to start feeling confident. I think these next 2 weeks are really good for them between Endpoint and Monaco, which should allow them to get 2-0s and kind of bring them back into that top 4 conversation before they end out. They got TSM and who's their last play? Against Dig. Damn, that's actually a really big match. So yeah, they need these 3 wins. Those 3 wins will put them at what? 5-2. So yeah, 5-2. They end 5-3 at the end of the season. It's not too bad. But yeah, they're gonna be battling for that 4 spot. I'm thinking it's just a matter of how much they beat them by. Honestly, I could see Endpoint getting a game. They might catch them off guard if they start a little bit slow, but a lot of this is going to come down to disruption from Fruity. It always does. He needs to create opportunities for his teammates and then allow Shazza to do his thing. Pharaoh was pretty solid last week too. He had a couple big moments, but yeah, Reciprocity still a top 4 team. Now, Maus kind of scares me because last week they played a pretty solid series against Dignitas, the best team in Europe, but can they repeat it? And that's what we're all thinking. Like last week, we finally got to see what people consider like a grand final-esque type series. 3 overtimes. Some of them went to like 4.5 minutes. It was really exciting. But can Maus recreate it? They played in the Invitational, the European Invitational. It didn't go well. So I just want to see if Maus can recreate this playstyle on what they or what they say is the most important in their careers. So I think Maus, no matter what, is going to have a good time against TSM. I think they should be able to take it. I think it'll be 3-1, though. Maus tends to be sloppy from time to time. It's just, can they prove to us that they have chance to make top 4, which we would love to see. It's just, I need them to show it again in league play. Can they recreate this performance against Dignitas? Match of the week, probably 2 of my favorite teams to watch in Europe. You got the best team in Dignitas and Barcelona, which kudos to Flakes and the crew. I want Devo to continue to play the way he has. It's just Roniki's wildcard aspect. Needs more comms. Dignitas will win this. I think it'll be convincing. I think Barcelona's going to have a hard time on defense. The fact that they won last week, I think, is baffling. They should have never beat Reciprocity. Reciprocity threw that game super hard. I don't care if Devo was averaging 10 saves a game, but there's no reason Rec should have lost that. They literally threw the game away. But Dig will really exploit Barcelona here. I'm thinking it's 3-1. You might see something come out in like game 3, but Dignitas is going to really show you how to work the field and what communication can do. Got Vitality versus Rec. Vitality trending up. Rec kind of sitting middle pack. I think Vitality is going to continue to start scaling upwards as we get towards the end of the season. Big match for them, obviously, on Monday with their doubleheader. But Rec, I think I'm a little worried for you. You guys have stepped up against this team in the past, but now that Alpha's becoming more and more involved, I think it might be dangerous. I could see this one going to 5. I want this one to go to 5. I want to see what Rec is truly made of, but I think Vitality is sitting in a really good spot, and it's only going to get better as time progresses. A win with them is going to give them that confidence and give us 2 really strong teams coming out of Europe. Moving into the Monday matches, Barcelona versus Singularity. I think Barcelona knows they need to bounce back. They take the victory over Singularity. Singularity is just a little too sloppy. Barcelona defense should be able to save majority of their shots. Probably a 3-1, possibly a 3-2. TSM versus Endpoint. I honestly don't care who plays in this match, which sounds terrible, but it's kind of null for me. Endpoint, I think, will actually take it. I think TSM is going to be fighting to stay out of bottom 2 with Monaco. Fortunately for everybody, we're going to get a nice long game 5 probably, which is going to suck. Probably going to sleep in until we get to the last 2 matches, if I'm being honest. Third match of the day, Veloce versus Mouse. This is a big one for Mouse. Mouse needs to prove that their offense can be competitive. I will say Veloce's defense being very annoying, very counterattack heavy, might provide some issues. Scrub has been playing a little bit too selfish and needs to find a way to turn those into demos. I want him and Speed to be very aggressive. I honestly think Veloce is going to win it because of that. It'll probably be a 3-1. I think Mouse might have a really tough time. Also, that 1 is perfect. We always get 1. Let's go. Rec versus Monaco. Monaco has no defense. Rec should have a field day. 3-0. Knowing them, they'll probably give up 1, but Rec, you should stomp Monaco. I think Monaco's in big trouble for last place. And then the match of the week, Monday. Vitality versus Dig. Dig, I think, is still the best team. I think this could be a really good match. Dig, I think, is still going to take it. I think their ability to find each other pass is going to really outwork Vitality. I just want to see Vitality change and adapt. I want to see what these players can do against a team that really works the field well. Can they utilize the space they're being given, or if there's a player that isn't on them right away because they're so spread, can they work in those solo plays? All 3 players with 1's background. I want to see them dribble, trap the ball, and make Dignitas come to them and force those 50s because it's going to really open up some opportunities. But Dignitas overall, Dignitas has showed merit. The fact that they were able to reverse sweep Mouse last week really shows me they're the real deal. Those are your predictions for the week, guys. Any questions, concerns, or what you guys have, drop them in the comments down below. But watch parties all weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Twitch.tv/Lawler. Come join us. We'd love to have you. Peace.